Tax refunds. Is it good or bad? Hello and welcome to our video on tax refunds. Is it good or bad? Taxes are a fact of life and one that we all have to deal with. But there's a silver lining to the tedious task of filing your taxes, and that's the possibility of receiving a tax refund. A tax refund is money that the government returns to you after you file your tax returns. Many people look forward to receiving their tax refund each year, and some even depend on it to help cover their expenses. But is a tax refund really a good thing? Or is it a sign that you're not managing your finances effectively? In this video, we'll take a closer look at tax refunds, what they are, and whether they're really a good thing. We'll discuss the pros and cons of receiving a tax refund and offer some tips on how to manage your finances more effectively. So let's get started. What is a tax refund? A tax refund is money that the government returns to you after you file your tax returns. When you file your tax returns, you calculate the total income and the taxes you owe on that income. If the amount of taxes you paid through the year is more than the taxes you owe, you get a refund. This refund is the difference between the amount of taxes you paid and the amount of taxes you owe. Pros of receiving a tax refund. One of the biggest advantages of receiving a tax refund is that it can provide a financial cushion. If you're living paycheck to paycheck, a tax refund can help you cover unexpected expenses, pay off debt, or even go on a vacation. It's like getting a bonus check, and it can be a welcome relief when money is tight. Another advantage of receiving a tax refund is that it can help you save money. If you're not disciplined with your money, it can be hard to set aside money for savings. But if you get a lump sum of cash all at once, it can be easier to put some of it into savings. And because the money is coming from a tax refund, it's like saving money that you never had to begin with. Cons of receiving a tax refund. While there are some advantages to receiving a tax refund, there are also some drawbacks. One of the biggest drawbacks is that a tax refund is a sign that you overpaid on your taxes throughout the year. In other words, you gave the government an interest-free loan for the year. Instead of having that extra money in your pocket throughout the year, you gave it to the government to hold on to. If you're depending on a tax refund to cover your expenses or to pay off debt, it's a sign that you're not managing your money effectively. Ideally, you should be setting aside money each month to cover expenses and pay off debt. If you're relying on a tax refund to do those things, you're essentially just postponing the inevitable. Tax refund. Good or bad? Tax refunds can be a double-edged sword. On one hand, it can feel like a windfall of unexpected money that you can use to pay off debts or treat yourself to something nice. On the other hand, it's important to remember that a tax refund is not free money. In fact, it's money that you overpaid in taxes throughout the year, which the government is now returning to you without any interest. Essentially, you're giving the government an interest-free loan by overpaying your taxes, rather than having that money available to you for your day-to-day expenses or to invest elsewhere. It's also possible that you could be using that extra money to pay off high-interest debts, which could end up costing you more in the long run. Additionally, by overpaying on your taxes, you're missing out on the opportunity to invest that money and potentially earn more over time. On the other hand, receiving a tax refund can provide a sense of financial security and peace of mind. For some people, having a larger amount of money in their bank account can help them feel more prepared for unexpected expenses or emergencies that may arise. It can also be a way to jumpstart a savings plan, whether it's for a down payment on a home or a much-needed vacation. Ultimately, whether a tax refund is good or bad depends on your personal financial situation and goals. If you're living paycheck to paycheck and struggling to make ends meet, a tax refund can provide much-needed relief. However, if you're able to manage your finances effectively throughout the year, you may be better off adjusting your withholding and investing that extra money elsewhere. By understanding the pros and cons of receiving a tax refund, you'll be better equipped to make smart financial decisions that align with your goals and values. Tips for managing your taxes and financials. If you're concerned about receiving a tax refund, there are some steps that you can take to manage your taxes and finances more effectively. The first step is to adjust your withholding. When you start a new job, you fill out a W-4 form that determines how much money will be withheld from your paycheck for taxes. If you're receiving a large tax refund each year, it's a sign that you're having too much money withheld. By adjusting your withholding, you can increase your take-home pay throughout the year and reduce your tax refund. Another step is to set up a budget. If you're not already tracking your expenses, it's a good idea to start. You can use a budgeting app or a simple spreadsheet to track your income and expenses each month. This will help you identify areas where you're overspending and where you can cut back. By sticking to a budget, you'll be better able to manage your finances throughout the year, and you'll be less likely to depend on a tax refund to cover your expenses. It's also a good idea to set up an emergency fund. An emergency fund is a savings account that you set up specifically for unexpected expenses. Ideally, your emergency fund should have enough money to cover 3 to 6 months' worth of living expenses. By having an emergency fund in place, you'll be better able to handle unexpected expenses without having to rely on a tax refund or credit cards. Finally, it's important to think about the long term. If you're receiving a tax refund each year, it's a sign that you could be putting that money to better use. Instead of giving the government an interest-free loan, you could be investing that money in your retirement savings or in a college fund for your kids. By planning for the future, you'll be less likely to depend on a tax refund each year. So, is a tax refund good or bad? The answer is, it depends. While a tax refund can provide a financial cushion and help you save money, it's also a sign that you're overpaying on your taxes and not managing your finances effectively. If you're receiving a large tax refund each year, it's time to take a closer look at your finances and make some changes. By adjusting your withholding, setting up a budget, and planning for the future, you'll be better able to manage your finances and avoid relying on a tax refund to cover your expenses. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.